the strange, the bizarre, way out there on GJRB.
That's right. We're here, back, way out there on GJRB. Welcome back to Way Out There. Got a great show lined up for you. Got some interesting stuff. So hit on board. We've got a lot going on here on GJRB. And that's what we're doing here. And like I said, got a lot of interesting things going on. We're going to visit Linda Moulton Howe's Earth Files later. Got some interesting stories. She'll be on Coast to Coast next week on many of your local talk stations around the nation, Coast to Coast AM. And it's what this show's brought to you by. Way Out There, brought to you by Coast to Coast AM. It's Premier Radio Networks that puts that out, Coast to Coast AM. Recommend you listen to this program because if you want to know the truth, like I bring it to you here on GJRB, Coast to Coast AM continues because they were the first to bring you the truth. They're the first. And I got to tell you, they're still doing a good job. George Norrie, Coast to Coast AM, where else can you go to really get to know what's going on? And we'll have more with them coming up a little later on. Also coming up on Way Out There, additional information on what's going on because it's now time to take a look at some brief news here on GJRB and talk about a lot of things that are going on in news today. We're going to do that right now. Interesting story kind of opens us up. First of all, like I said before, if you haven't had a chance to look at it, I have people who are listening to me on my Facebook page right now can see it if you are friends of mine on Facebook. There's a nice, really good video out of Norway of the eclipse. For a while there, you know, when you really look at it, Norway was dark just like we were for a very short time. So, I don't want to, okay. I'm going to, okay, we're forced to have that commercial on, but I'm going to go ahead and put that on hold because I don't want that running into my recording. But anyway, incredible video on this eclipse. I got to tell you, I was impressed with the way they did that. They did a really good job posting that, rather shooting that video. They probably did was they left the camera sitting out, I guess, to locate this thing, right? And it was incredible story about that. And I got that coming up. Plus, later on, I got another interesting story. You hear about this, a sinkhole. This is a sinkhole, and got to tell you, folks, I'm going to talk about this later. This is an incredible looking thing. I did a posting on Facebook last night, and a report from ABC, which I'm going to play a little later on here. I'm going to get through my first news first, and then I'm going to play this because it is incredible. This lady posted this ABC report that the Dead Sea is slowly going dry. And this is another talk, and I've heard this before about the Dead Sea going dry. And there are sinkholes near there. So that's coming up. You're going to want to check that out. That's fabulous. But meanwhile, solar eclipse at the Faroe Islands today. dazzle display kicking off the day of the celestial events. Now remember, for a lot of you out here listening, the first day of spring today comes in at 5:45 Central Time. First day of spring, the vernal equinox. First day of spring. It lines up with an eclipse and a fabulous video taken at the Faroe Islands. And like I said before, this is an incredible video. The Faroe Islands are located in the North Atlantic, halfway between Iceland and Norway. They had front row seats to the eclipse. This occurred early this morning as the new moon completely covered the sun. Very stunning video. Very stunning. A lot of people gathered up there to watch this. It was the world's first solar eclipse since November 2013. The partial solar eclipse was also visible through most of Europe. The moon also reached a perigee on Friday at a point where it's closest to the Earth, creating a supermoon. It made a dark one, but added another element to that total source of eclipse. The spring equinox, and get ready for it, in the northern hemisphere. The official start of spring vernal equinox is to be marked at 6:45 Eastern, like I said here, 5:45 Central, when the Earth's axis lines up perpendicularly through the sun's rays, marking one of the two equinoxes that occur each year. And people gathered there, and some fabulous video of that. And like I said before, I posted it on my Facebook page. So I will be going along and posting it on my Twitter page. But of course, anybody who follows me on Twitter, I'm sure it's already on there. And for a lot of you listening on my Twitter, my Google Plus, I'll also see if I can get that on. It's fabulous. Anyway, another additional weird story comes out of Russia. Mysterious light being seen in the skies of Russia recently stirring some controversy. According to a recent report, mysterious light, a silent flash, which lit up the skies in Russia, baffling people and sparking all kinds of theories of extraterrestrial activity. Experts said that a blue and white burst of light, which illuminated over Stavropol in the northern Russia, is not natural. The strange glow is not accompanied by any sound, according to witnesses, and made the city streetlights go out briefly. And they also said that this have caused the bulbs inside homes to flicker, according to RT. One woman, according to their website, said that I was very frightened. This is quote. Said I was very frightened when I saw it. I already was in bed, she said. I looked as if something very bright lit up my ceiling. The flash captured on the vehicle dashboard camera at 12:39 a.m. on Monday morning. So this happened on Monday morning. And they're saying this is a mysterious flash in the sky in Russia. So anybody who might be listening to this on the internet in Russia, what was it? Post me something. If you want to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, come on aboard. We'd love to hear from you. This is a flash that happened in Russia. And they don't know what it is. They have no idea. This is in Russia. And they're not sure where it came from. So there you go. Wow. Some interesting stuff there. And that's, they're not sure what that was. It'd be interesting to find that out, really. And let's see, I want to talk about, coming up, I got a story coming up about these massive sinkholes which opened up at the Dead Sea, dried up. Dead Seas are drying up. And I'll be playing a piece from, did you hear, if you were with us all morning from 11 a.m., you might have heard the last 7 days. We were talking about this. Very disturbing, actually. A mega pastor. No, this is something. I'm going to talk about this later. This comes up later. But there's a story here. Pastors are going to have DHS in arrest and detention of Americans to FEMA camps. And I'll be talking about this. This is from the last 7 days this morning. I'm going to talk about it in religious fundamentalism. There's a woman out there who says religious fundamentalism is a mental illness. And I'll be talking about this next week on the Gary Russell program. Man, some people. Anyway, we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. And talking about other stuff. So keep it here. This is Way Out There on GJRB. Got some interesting sound clips to play for you. And a whole lot more coming up. And here's another interesting story. This is weird too. This is weird too, actually. Okay, let me see here. I'm gonna go ahead and look at this story up. This is another story that's bizarre. People. This is a town in what is called Kazakhstan. Okay, it's a small village, and it reported there that people have been falling asleep. Villagers in that town have been falling asleep at random. Okay, that's something you want to talk about. And we are talking about this on Way Out There. This is an interesting story. Transhumanism. This is I don't know. God, I gotta be coming down ticked off on this one. Surgeons say a full body transplant could be a reality in 2 years. Yep, Sergio Canavero is a doctor in Turin, Italy, and has drawn up plans to graft a living person's dead body onto a donor body, and claims the procedure is needed to carry out operations that are not far off. Canavero hopes to assemble a team to explore radical surgery to project in a project that is due to launch at a meeting for neurological surgeons in Maryland this June. They claimed for years that medical science has advanced to the point of a full body transplant. And this is seriously, folks, beheading someone and then transplanting that body that head onto another body. Yeah. This is full body this is transhumanism, people. They claim for years that medical science has advanced to the point of full body transplant. An Italian doctor recently published the broad outline of how surgery could be performed, according to, as he told New Scientist magazine, that he wanted to use body transplants to prolong lives of people affected by terminal diseases. Oh, wow, really? Anyway, he said, quote, if society doesn't want it, I won't do it. But if people don't want it in the U.S. or Europe, that doesn't mean it won't be done somewhere else. He says, I'm trying to go about this the right way, but before going to the moon, you want to make sure people will follow you. Putting aside the consideration of the technical issues involved in removing a living person's head, crafting it to a dead body, and reviving the reconstructed person. Is this playing God or what? Retaining their brain